welcome back to Third Take, and this is the second round. They might all be in one video, second and third round. I don't know.
No, you can't put. No. We are not putting it all in one video.
4
That's
hours?
like 7 hours.
Second round is here. After free agency, little awkward with the first round. That's uploading right now as we speak. That you guys have already seen. Trade. So Vikings are more than likely going to make a push to go to the top 3. So we'll see what happens with that. But we didn't know that a week ago, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, in the video, it's literally the Texans at 23.
So we didn't know that. So this is after free agency. Positions will be picked. So yeah, let's get into it. Panthers at 33.
Yeah, starting off with the Panthers. Good free agency. Getting a lot of O-line help there with Robert Hunt and what's the Seahawks? Damian Lewis. Yeah. So, also trading for Deontay Johnson, which is big. I'm still going receiver here, and I'm going with Xavier Legette from South Carolina. Dude, I want to start off with the video because it's so funny. I don't know why everyone's like shocked because he's from South Carolina, but he sounds like a 72-year-old white guy who might be racist. So. Yeah, but Xavier Legette, this is an open invitation to you, buddy, to come down to Tyler's in the summer and we can fish and listen to some country. But as far as him on the field, he's 6'1", 220. Had a solid Senior Bowl. It wasn't like maybe as good as I wanted it to be, but it was still pretty solid. Elite jump ball threat. When I first watched him, I felt like I was watching A.J. Brown. It turns out he's not as big, but I'm not worried about that. Like, some guys play, like Malik Neighbors, just play above their height, and Legette's one of those guys where, like, he was listed at 6'3", and I didn't bat an eye. I truly thought he was until I found out he was 6'1". But he's super big, he's fast, ran 4.39. The long speed is crazy. It takes him a little bit to kind of get up to top speed, but once he does, it's nuts. He's good over the middle. He's really explosive in short areas. He's phenomenal after the catch. Really good outside receiver. He beats up guys in press, once again, because he's just huge. He's kind of just he's not as big or crazy athletic or anything, but it's kind of just the DK Metcalf build of just big as hell, long speed, good hands. Not the most diverse route tree, but you don't really care. He's going to win on fades. He's going to win over the middle. He's going to win on curls, all that stuff. And I think that's how Carolina will use him. That's your X. You have Deontay as your 2, and you can use Thielen in the slot, and all of a sudden your receiving core still a little questionable with Jonathan Mingo, but it looks a lot better than it did a couple days ago.
Okay, at 34, the New England Patriots, who have had a offseason.
A free agency.
We had a free agency.
The first 2 days, I was feeling good. Because it was like, re-sign our guys, we're vibing, all right. And then even up till last night, like before the Keenan Allen trade, I was like, okay, Calvin Ridley, we missed out on him, but there's still plenty of receivers. And then Keenan happened, and then Hollywood happened, and now I'm kind of just sitting here like...
Really? A fourth was too rich for you?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see who we pick in the 4th round this year. If it's not like a Cam Hart or somebody else, I don't know. But
I mean, the Packers do kind of kill it in the mid to late rounds, so maybe.
Okay, if you told me, hey, you can pick Keenan Allen.
No, I still would take
fuck
Keenan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're taking a receiver here. A lot of receivers have gone off the board. I think, 7? 7 so far?
Yeah, I think so.
So, 6, 7. Yeah, I know it's 7. With Ladd last time. I'm going to take Keon Coleman from FSU. I'm not as high on him as a lot of other people, and it's just because he has serious separation issues. He didn't run great, but the tracking speed...
10-yard split.
Yeah,
nice.
10-yard split. They did their tracking speed, which if they didn't have that this year, he would have been fucking cooked.
Yeah, no, that helped a lot.
He would have been cooked. Like, he was running 19 miles an hour, so... He's very fast. He has good long speed, but it takes more than a minute for him to get up to that. But he's not a great route runner. Like, he kind of rounds his routes. I know I'm being negative right now. I'll get to the positives. He's not a great route runner. He kind of just rounds his routes. I said he doesn't get a lot of separation. But he's really good in run blocking. Like, he's a good stock blocker. He has ideal height and weight. He's 6'4", 216. He's a giant. He has an amazing jump ball ability. Like, it's disgusting. If you give him a 50-50 ball, he's coming down with it. He has really good speed, as we saw at the combine. He got up to 19 miles per hour. He moves really well in space, which is a little surprising for him being 6'4". I saw him move over the middle a lot more than I thought I would. Contested catch, he's a demon. Contested catch, just if the average DB is like 6 foot, 6'1", he has 3 inches on him. So just put it up to him. He's gonna make a catch. He wins with pure size. Once again, going back, I don't think he's a great route runner. He kind of just wins with size. I don't really see him beat anybody off the line that quickly. And then I put lastly, he struggles to get separation. Overall, I like him, but
no, you don't. Those notes were so negative. You can't say that.
You
can't say that.
I like him. I would much rather Xavier Legette. I wouldn't say Ladd because we don't need another. But I'd rather any of the other X receivers over.
I do
him.
Like Keon Coleman, just so everyone knows.
He is my wide receiver. I mean, it sounds like I hate him.
No, your notes were so fucking negative. You did.
What? Don't hate him.
Admit it.
I think he's a good player. I don't think he's anything special though. Like I think he's my. You could put him at wide receiver 8. You could put him at wide receiver 10. On that line, he varies. But yeah, Keon Coleman. He needs to learn how to get separation, run some routes. But listen, his jump ball ability. If it's that good, it's that good. And you won't need to worry about separation. Like if your jump ball ability is so good that you don't need to get separation, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. Keon Coleman to the Patriots at 34.
All right, 35 Cardinals on the clock. I think me and Joe passed on this guy a combined 6 times, but here he is coming off the board. I'm taking Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. I really, I saw in all, these mock drafts, him keep sliding, and I was like, that's never going to be me. I'm always going to have him as a first-round pick, and here we are, and he is not in the first round. But I do like Kool-Aid. Cam Hart over him was kind of just a game-time decision, and I do still feel that way, a week later. But he's 6'1", 194. He's a press corner. That's what he is. He's very good at it. He can play off, too. I think he's good in both man and zone. I'm not questioning his cover skills really at all. He can play bump and run. He can flip his hips and turn. He's a good cover corner. My problem with him basically just comes down to tackling because I think he's shit at it. Just, very bad. Questionable at best effort. Really bad form tackling. I'm not sure if he cares about it, and it's weird for an Alabama player, but it's a little different. Braswell, you'll see him later in this, but I don't think he's a good run defender either at edge. So usually Bama's known for everybody there is a good run defender, but not so much this year. But yeah, it just comes down to tackling for me with Kool-Aid. I got nothing against his coverage ability, but guys like Kyrie Jackson and Cam Hart, especially Cam Hart, who is that press corner mold, and is a good tackler. So, when you only do half of the stuff well, you're not going above Cam Hart there. But I still do like Kool-Aid. I think this is a good spot for him. He is that, not shutdown one, but he's going to be a good solid CB1 in my opinion. And pairing him with Garrett Williams and my guy Keitrell Clark from last year, I think is a good young secondary here in Arizona.
Okay, Washington here at 36. I'm going to go with tackle Christian Jones out of Texas. Mentioned him. Did he get into the first round last time? He might have. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
But he definitely got into the Patriots mock offseason video. 4th round pick. Here he goes at the top of the second. He's 6'5", 318. Pretty sure he's a little older. If he's a 5th-year senior, if I'm not corrected. Yeah. But he's a great anchor. He's a big, hard punch. Great length. He dispatches bull rushes nicely. He does get beat to his chest, but he's able to recover. So it's kind of just you want him to be able to not get beat to his chest, but it's not a huge worry when he does because he's able to recover. Picks up stunts nicely. He does have choppy feet, but he has a nasty streak up the field. Pancakes everywhere. Just he pancakes a lot of guys. And then he has amazing grip strength. Overall, like, if you want just a good tackle day one, Christian Jones is your guy. But if you want, the higher potential type of guys, but you're willing to let them suck and let your quarterback get killed for a year or two, then there are other guys to go here. But I think Washington just needs another good tackle to protect whoever they're picking at 2 because they just traded Sam Howell. So, yeah, Christian Jones, I think, is just a good anchor on the left side, right side, whichever you want to put him at. And you really don't have to worry about it too much.
All right, 37 Chargers on the clock. It's been a roller coaster of an offseason.
And not even a roller coaster.
Well, no, just the high of hiring Jim and then everything else that followed.
We hired Jim. Oh my God, we're restructuring our ends. Keenan Allen trade.
Well, and Gus Edwards. It was like Jim, Gus Edwards, nice. Will Dissly, K, blocking tight end. Look at this culture. Look at this identity we're building. Bye, Mike Williams. Okay,
Khalil's coming
big
back.
time cap hit, like whatever. Mac coming back, love it.
Bosa, he's coming back too.
Keenan. Shit.
Let's take a screenshot of that offense. It actually, other than Justin Herbert, it actually might be worse than the Patriots.
No, I think it's unquestionably worse than the Patriots.
Other than Herbert.
Yeah, no.
Herbert might be the only thing that makes it better.
No, but if we're just talking about like the weapons.
I'd rather have Ramondre.
Christ. Yeah, exactly. Ramondre over Gus.
Kendrick.
I'll take Pop over everybody.
Yeah, Kendrick
and
over everybody.
Bourne over, I'd take Jalen Rager over
I was
Quentin
about
Johnson.
to say that. I mean, Jesus. Our friend Tyler is going through it right now. We just saw him a couple days ago, and he was super happy with all the moves they were doing.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Wish we were still there to make sure he hasn't killed himself yet. He was alive this morning.
Hopefully he's alive when this video comes out.
Tyler, just keep thinking about June when we see you again. But
Well, yeah. As far as the pick, Joe just said this. Take a receiver, and he's not wrong.
Malik,
we already took Malik, so we were kind of ahead of the Keenan Allens. I was hoping to pair them together, but that's your replacement. But I am going to go trenches here, and I'm going to go Zach Frazier from West Virginia. I think Jim is going to want to. I think this is a pick Jim would do, even though it's just what I would do. But Zach Frazier's a beast. He's a really good run blocker. Like I said, absolute mauler, tons of pancakes. He's got the nasty streak that you want. This is a dude who crawled off the field with a broken leg so that they wouldn't have to use a timeout.
That's great.
I mean, this guy's tough as hell. That's exactly what you want from your center. He's really good at sealing and getting to the second level. I think the best attribute that he has is his reach blocking, which is extremely important for a center, probably more so than any other position on the O-line. And he's a perfect outside zone center, which is something that they're probably going to want to implement. He's got a beautiful trap tech as well. He's not that athletic in space, but it doesn't really matter because he's playing center. It's chill. You're going to be in the phone booth for the most part. He's good at pulling, though. He's got a very good anchor. He's really good against stunts. He's smart. Zach Frazier is just one of these very, very solid offensive line interior prospects that we see come across. He's been a starter for 3 years. The medicals seem to check out well, and I think he's one of probably the safest players in this draft, just as far as projecting him to be a really good player. And after Corey Linsley went down, that line kind of shit itself. You need a new center here, and Zach Frazier's your guy.
Okay, at 38, the Tennessee Titans. Fuck you, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you. 2 years in a row, you steal a fucking receiver from us. Diop last year, Calvin Ridley this year. He was fucking ours until the last second. That's the report. Now, thank you for getting your franchise quarterback, Will Levis, some weapons, because that's what he is. They obviously believe in him, but you need more O-line. You took Joe Alt earlier, so you're just building the trenches, making sure he doesn't die.
They need it. He died every game last year.
I saw him.
Every time on Red Zone, it would pop up. It would be the Titans, and it would just be 3rd and 8, and Will Levis would just die.
No, it'd be like, we have an injury update for the
time
today. Will Levis is limping off the field.
I swear he left 4 games with injuries.
No, I think he left 4 of the last 5 with injuries.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm taking Christian Haynes from UConn, 6'2", 313. Showed out at the Senior Bowl. Had a really really nice day at the Senior Bowl. Great timing. He has a great feel and processing skills. He loses sometimes on pure power moves, but that's just sometimes. It's not all the time. He has a really good anchor. He has good inside hands that create really good space. That's what I really saw at the Senior Bowl, was how much space that he created for himself. He looks really good on combo. He looks really good on combo blocks. He gets to the second level really nicely. He takes really good angles. He's just not. I don't think he's a great athlete like some of these other guys, but he's a great finisher. Overall, I do really like him as just a really good guard. Like, he usually for us goes 21 to the Dolphins, but we change stuff up sometimes. Just in the moment, spur of the moment, stuff comes to us. So, but Christian Haynes here, Tennessee, you're building a really, really good O-line now. You have just that other tackle spot to replace, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. But Duncan can play there if Callahan thinks he can fix them. Hopefully he can, and then you have a complete offensive line. Christian Haynes to the Titans.
All right, pick 39. We didn't mention this in the intro either, but this is also the Panthers' pick because they traded Brian Burns for jack shit.
You could have had a first this year, by the way.
Yeah, and one next year if they took the Rams offer. But here they are with pick 39. But never fear, you are still getting a really good player. And I'm taking Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky. This is one of my guys. I love Malachi Corley. I will help Bryce Young if it is the last thing I do in this mock draft. They did a good job with the O-line in free agency. I feel good about the line. Now you have Deontay as your second outside receiver. You have Leggett. Listen,
Never a big Mingo fan.
Yeah, I didn't watch Mingo's film last year. He kind of just randomly shot up the draft board. I'm kind of just going to push him to wide receiver 4 here so that we don't have to rely on him, and we'll have Corley out of the slot. They had Curtis Samuel, who is also my boy, but they're going to kind of play a similar role here, and he's very quick in the short part of the field. That's the best part. 5'10", 215. He's built like a running back. He did play running back and was recruited there as a running back. He's great on screens and reverses, as you would imagine. Runs through guys. Every year there's a guy that's compared to Debo. He's the only one that I think is actually a reasonable comparison. He's pretty damn close. They weigh like the same. He's not as good of a contested catch guy as Debo, and that's kind of where the worries come in. With Corley, I think it was like 22%. He's not great at holding the ball or holding onto the ball in traffic, which you definitely want him to improve on. But as somebody who is just a yak monster and can win over the middle, is really good short, his depth of target is going to be disgustingly low because of all the screens and all that stuff, but that's what you want him doing. You can line him up at running back if you want to. He has, I think, the quickness and enough deep speed to threaten you over the top from the slot. They just didn't really do it a whole lot because the quarterback play was shit, and he's so good underneath that he can just turn, your 6-yard hitch into 15 yards, so you don't actually have to send him that deep down the field. I do think he's big enough to beat press on the outside. I think he could play outside receiver for you, even though he wasn't asked to do it a whole lot in college. In Carolina, in this scenario, he really wouldn't be asked to do it, so I think this is a really good landing spot for him. He looked really good on some slot fades when they did decide to give him deep down the field reps. But really, just day one, slot monster who can win over the middle, elite after the catch, and he'll just pick up tons of first downs and move the chains. And that's what you want. You got Deontay as your separator, and you got him to move the chains. So I think if this is the scenario the Panthers go, I think this is a pretty good receiving core, and I really like it.
At 40, Washington, we took, Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
and
you took
Christian Jones.
Yeah.
And Curtis Samuel just left. And Jahan Dotson really hasn't shown much in 2 years. He had
hella touchdowns the first year.
But then he kind of just fell off after he got injured. Terry is just kind of alone. Sad. He's never going to be considered elite over there. But want to know who is? Slick Ricky Pearsall. Out of Florida, 6'1", 190. You're getting yourself Cooper Kupp. That's He's a worse Cooper Kupp. Now, he laughs. I'm dead serious. He's a great route runner, great speed. You ready? Finds a soft spot in zone.
Oh, yeah.
He has a disgusting release package, really good ball tracking. He blocks well downfield. Can you tell he's white?
I can.
He gets a ton of separation. He makes contested catches. The crazy one hand getting lit up by two guys over the middle just shows how nuts his hands are and how he can make contested catches. Like, I don't know what he officially is, but I have 6'1" written down here. But he has crazy hands. Like I said, mentioned the one-handed catch. I think it was against some shit school. Maybe it was against Charlotte.
Yeah.
Against Charlotte. Take a hit. He has really good acceleration, super quick feet. The only thing I'll say is he needs to get his head around quicker. He is a 3-level threat. You can use him on screens and sweeps. Florida used him a lot there. He can make acrobatic catches, and I think he can play on the outside and on the inside. I think Slick Ricky Pearsall here is just a really damn good receiver, and he's just going to be kind of your reception king, your reception god. Like, if he went to Carolina, I would have no doubt he'd have, like, close to the rookie catch mark because they have nothing over there. But Ricky Pearsall, great receiver. I love him. He's one of my guys. I'm taking him here to Washington.
Okay, we got the Packers at 41. Pretty successful free agency for them, too. Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney.
Sorry, Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Salute to Aaron Jones. But at 41 here, I'm going with we're just going straight my guys these last few picks for each of us. But I'm taking Tyke Smith from Georgia, the slot/safety. I think he's my safety one right now. It's a close race between him and what's his name? Tyler Newman. There we are. But yeah, from Georgia, 5'10", 205. He's built for that size. He played the star role in their defense, which is basically just slot, and then a lot of safety. He's a great blitzer. He's a really physical tackler. He can play press in the slot. He can also turn and run from the slot. And that's probably, I think, where he'd be playing is slot, but also, like I said, safety. I mean, Xavier McKinney's going to handle a lot of the stuff that maybe he would be doing if they didn't have McKinney. But I think they're a really nice pairing. And I think Tyke Smith has really good ball skills as well. He's got really good communication skills, too, on film. I saw a lot of pointing, a lot of just communicating with the other corners and safeties, which that's what you want. You want a leader in that secondary, even though he is going to be playing second fiddle to McKinney there, who was a captain for the Giants for a couple of years. But I think he's got good play rec as well. You can tell this dude watches film, the way he reads the quarterback's eyes. I'm way higher on him than basically anybody else. I just saw him 150 on the board here. But I think Tyke Smith, he's kind of my Jartavius Martin of last year, where I think he's just a really good slot. There aren't many problems with his game, and I think he's just going to be a really good player at the next level. And the Packers, this is a big need for them both in the slot and a second safety. So I like the fit. I considered this at 25 for like a brief second, and then I realized, hey, let me just take Cam Hart. This is way smarter because I can get Tyke Smith in round 2. But I'm a big fan of his, and I like this fit a lot.
Okay, Houston, you're now here at 42 because of today's trade with the Vikings, and we picked Tavondre Sweat for you last time, so it kind of negates that. But
yeah, because they don't have that pick anymore.
You don't have that pick anymore. So you're going to take D-tackle here. And you're going to take Mekhi Wingo out of LSU. 6'1", 295. He wears 18 for LSU. Not a lot of you know. If you don't know, that's a very special number for LSU. You got to be a leader. You got to be just a good locker room guy.
You got to be the leader.
Yeah, you got to be the leader in that locker room. Gets his hand up to bat the ball down. Quick first step, quick jump. He has really good hand fighting. He has great speed for his size. Doesn't give up on the play. He has a really good swim move. Great power. Knocks guards and tackles back on their heels. So you'd love to see that, the amount of power he plays with. He plays super fast for his size. I don't know what he ran at the 40 at the combine, can't tell you, but I'm sure he moved fast. Able to get pressure on almost every play. Great block shedding. Gets a ton of pressure, and he's a solid run defender, but there's tons of potential there. Overall, I really love Mekhi Wingo, and he is a top 50 player for me. So I am going to take him here at, 41? I think, one of the picks. 41? 42.
I just took
But, yeah. Love Mekhi Wingo. He's very close to being my D tackle 3 over Johnny Newton because I think they play equally good pass rushers, and I think that he's a better run defender. So he's very close to being D tackle 3.
43, you got the Atlanta Falcons on the clock here. Big free agency, brought in Kirk. Also, Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore, which I do like a lot. For the
Rondale Moore trade was a fleece.
No, that was Desmond Ritter straight up for Rondale Moore is crazy. But their center walked, so I'm going to take Graham Barton from Duke here. I think this is really good value. He's much higher than 43 on my board. He played tackle at Duke, but profiles as a guard. He also played center in high school, which is where I'm going to ask him to play here. He's 6'5", 315, so that's a big center.
Yep.
But we can definitely make it work. He's a really good run blocker. He is a very solid base. He also absolutely has the nasty streak to him. He's one of the best run blockers out of these interior guys. He's legitimately very good. His blocks are just angry, too. Like, you can just see it. Really good hand usage. He's got a good anchor. He does a good job just keeping his hands inside and making sure that's good. I think he can play gap or zone, which is good because Atlanta is mostly, or they were a zone running scheme, but it could be a little different now. Oh, no, they have the Rams OC, right? No, so it's still going to be zone. Got beat up a little bit by Jared Verse, but that's why he's top 10, and a lot of guys did. He does a good job giving ground slowly, consistently when he's anchoring. He does a good job climbing to the second level, and he's really good against stunts. He could play all 5 positions in a pinch for you. His arm length is, I think it's like 32 and something. It's closer to 33, but he's definitely a guard, even though he played tackle. But yeah, I think Graham Barton is a very solid player. I've taken him at 21 to Miami before, so he's well worth this pick at 43. He just fell because we took a lot of O-linemen earlier on that weren't him, but he's good value here, and he's a good player. And Atlanta, pretty nice draft so far with him and Quinion.
Okay, Raiders, 44 here. Had a good-ish free agency. You had a great free agency. You got Wilkins. You signed Gardner Minshew, which is why I'm making this pick, and I think it's perfect fit for if you want to take him. Now, listen, you've seen a lot of top 5, top 10 hype with J.J. McCarthy. I'm taking J.J. McCarthy here. The reason why is because he's not ready, and Gardner Minshew is a legit good starter who can start for either a year or 2 years, because J.J. McCarthy cannot play football right now. He has a good pocket presence. He steps up well. He's willing to take checkdowns. He's mobile. He's a threat in the run game. He's pretty good ball placement. He misses a couple throws. He has a really good arm. He plays super well in structure. Goes through his progressions well. Listen, I think when people say he has this incredibly high ceiling, I don't buy it. I think he could be at the peak. He could be a top 17 guy. I wouldn't put him in the top 15 because you put him Kirk Cousins is at 15, and I don't think he's going to be as good as Kirk Cousins. I don't see the huge hype with him. But I see, second round guy, second round quarterback, let him develop for you. And overall, the Raiders, they had a good free agency. This could be a wide receiver. You took tackle earlier, right? I think we took tackle for them.
Yeah, we took Latham.
So, he's a good guy to run the ball with Zamir White, I guess now, not Josh Jacobs.
White is good, though.
So, we'll see. But J.J. McCarthy here, he's a solid pick. But if you want QB, you're going to have to take him at 13 in the real draft. But I have a second-round grade on him. J.J. McCarthy here, though, is a good pick.
Okay, pick 45, Saints here. Kind of just retained your guys in free agency. I'm going D-line here. I would go edge, but they're all gone.
They're gone.
But I'm going D-tackle here, and I'm going to take Leonard Taylor from Miami. Really fallen big time for a lot of people. I still do like him. I can definitely see Mekhi Wingo over him. I think I would agree with that in my rankings. And I'm close with the Bama DT. But all of them are kind of in a similar range for me from 4 through 6.
I like Rook over him too.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I do like him. You're gonna see him probably kind of soon, but I still do like Leonard Taylor. He's 6'3", 304, big 3-tech. He's a nose too, but Miami really misused him in basically everybody's opinion, playing him so much at nose this year. Last video I was shocked with the little amount of tackles he put up, but
13.
Yeah, he's a really good run stuffer though. He sheds blocks well and he can 2-gap. He's really good at making a pile in the run game, which you love to see. That's why I think he could be a good nose, but like Brian Brzee is somebody who was not a good run defender in college, so I want to get someone who is really good at it. And Brian Brzee is your interior pass rusher, so I think pairing these two guys together is really good because Leonard Taylor he's still a good pass rusher. But like when you leave this guy one-on-one, he will crush the pocket, and that's kind of what I want as my complement to Brzee, who's like a finesse speed D tackle. I kind of just want like a big, powerful run stuffer who can crush the pocket, and that's pretty much what Leonard Taylor is. Constantly doubled. He's got really violent hands. He can rip. He's got to swim. That's all he's got is ball, rip, and swim. But it works enough when you have that power. You can teach this guy a few more moves. I think he kind of fits the bill of what the Saints like on the D-line as well, with just big dudes who are bull rushers. So I like Leonard Taylor a lot. I think this is about the range he should go in, and I think it's a good pick.
Here at pick 46, I'm gonna go with linebacker Peyton Wilson out of NC State. He's my linebacker one pretty easily. Amazing tackler. He hustles, guys. He's white. His name's Peyton Turner. He goes to NC State. He gets in the backfield constantly. He's a heat-seeking missile. Hard hitter. Rushes the passes really well. Shoots the gap. Rallies to the ball. High school coaches love that.
Yes, they do.
Great pursuit speed. TFL machine. He lives in the backfield. Pass rush needs refinement, but overall it's fine. That's not what you're asking him to do. You're asking him to be in coverage or just to run stuff. You're not asking him to pass rush too much. And he's pretty good in coverage. Overall, I really like Peyton Wilson. He's 6'4", 238. He's a tall linebacker. But I really like Peyton Wilson. He's just a good, hard-working tackle. He's a hard-working kid. Lunch pail mentality. Shows up first one in, last guy out type of guy. But yeah, no, he's just a really good player. I'm pretty sure I have him ranked higher than 46 on my big board. But he just falls here. I really couldn't find a really big need for Indy, but then I kind of thought of their linebacking core, and I couldn't give you more than 2-3 names that are good. So Peyton Wilson goes to the Colts. 2 white guys.
Pick 47, we got the Giants. And, lost Saquon. Not a good time.
Oh,
I'm going to go running back here. Give me Braylon Allen at 47 here to pair with Devin Singletary and be hopefully the starter, but just immediately the power back in here. But he's 6'2", 245. I also didn't know this, but enrolled at Wisconsin at 17. Mm-hmm. So I think he's 19. And I think he's either going to be 19 or 20 for his rookie season, which means if you take him here, he's going to be 23 by the end, either 23 or 24 by the end of his rookie deal. Mm. So, you can get 2 contracts out of him, and he'll be, 28.
Yeah.
So, this is really good value just because I think he's going to be really good, but just with how young he is at running back, you're gonna you can get 2 contracts easily, and then by the time he's washed up at 29, you can just move off of him. So, but yeah, 6'2", 245. He's very explosive in short areas. Doesn't have the long speed as you would expect, but he's a lot faster than you think. As you would imagine, runs through contact. He always fights for extra yards. He's got soft hands. I think he is an okay receiver. I think I gave him too much credit last time because, when I say solid receiver, I mean on, swing passes. He can catch the ball, but, he's not a route runner. But he will catch it if you throw it to him in the flat. And then he'll just run you over for 3 more yards. But because I think he is very good in pass protection, so I think he can be a 3-down player that way. The legs never stop moving. He's a gap scheme guy. Nice stiff arm. Just lower the shoulder, run you over. He's good at just, even when there's nothing there, just drive the legs and find 3 yards. I think he's a very good power back. He's my RB1, and I don't know. Since I watched him, it's never really been a question that he's my RB1, and I think this is a decent. You're not going to replace Saquon with him, but I think between him and Singletary, like, that is a backfield that I do feel good about. Would I still rather have Saquon? Like, in a vacuum, yeah, but when you factor in cost and, hey, we have Brian Burns now, I think I might take this. I think I'd probably take, like, Braylon Allen, Singletary, and Brian Burns over Saquon and, like, McKinney. So, I do think from a team-building perspective, this probably is a good idea. And I do like Braylon Allen here.
Okay, at pick 48, Jacksonville had a offseason kind of. I don't know what you guys did, but you did it. I don't like Gabe Davis, but they're gonna. It's almost like Christian Kirk, where they're paying him to be there too. Yeah. They're gonna give him targets.
It might work though. I mean, it worked with Kirk.
But I really don't know how Tyson Campbell played last year, but he was really good.
He had a down year.
He was really good the year
before.
Good. But I'm going to take TJ Tampa here. You brought Darius Williams in to play slot.
Sorry. They let go of Darius
Williams.
The Rams brought him back. Okay. Free agency is fucking confusing, guys. I'm sorry.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
This year was a shit show. Guys betraying their teams, stabbing. It was a shit show. My bad. TJ Tampa's 6'2", 201. He's really good in man coverage. He can tackle well. Doesn't get thrown at. Got beat deep. Like, on the first play I watched, I was like, this kid's going to be a shitter, isn't he? Physical hands. He allows catches in zone coverage, but not man, so just play him in man. Sags off a lot when he's not in press, and I mean, he sags off a lot.
It's like 9 yards.
It is like 9 yards. He's good speed. He's pretty physical. Overall, I didn't see much of him on the field just because I was able to see him, and you didn't see him for the rest of the play. It kind of just went like that, where he was just kind of... He was good, and you could tell he was just a good coverage guy. And then you saw him make a tackle or two for like 3 yards. Got off his guy. But overall, he's just a really solid, good corner who's not going to get beat a bunch. But you do have to worry about him sagging off a little bit too much. That would be my only big concern with him. But overall, just locked down outside corner. Good pick for the Jags.
Okay, pick 48. I don't think I've ever made this pick, and it hasn't been Jatavian Sanders, but they signed Gesicki, so that's probably your new tight end, and they re-signed your sample, so I think they're kind of good there. I'm going to go receiver here, though, because T. Higgins wants out. And this is not your T. Higgins replacement, because they're about 6 inches apart in height. But I'm taking Malik Washington from UVA to be your new slot. 5'8", 194. He's tiny, but he's absolutely jacked. Super quick and fast. He picked up a fumble and ran it to the house, Tyreek Hill style. That was just a fun little highlight I want to share. But, all right, so he's 5'8". But you want to know what his contested catch rate is? It's 63%. This dude can go up and get it. He's a great route runner. He has really good hands. He's really good after the catch as well. He's very strong for his size, and he is quick and elusive. He's a legit 3-level route runner. He can sit down and zone well. I think this is like a very good slot for Joe Burrow to work with. Maybe you can just re-sign Tyler Boyd to be the number 2. I think that's a good idea. Is it a drop-off from T. Higgins? 100%.
Fuck yeah.
But Boyd's been an 1,000-yard receiver before. He was the number 1 a few years ago. If he's your 2, I'm fine with that.
He's a good 2.
He's a good 2.
And a great 3.
Yeah, and Malik Washington, I think, is going to be a great 3. So I think Malik is your slot. Bring Boyd back as your number 2. And I think this is just a dude who Joe Burrow... I mean, it's 3rd and Jamar. Like, that's what it is. But if he's covered, then we'll throw it to Malik Washington here. But I really like this fit. He's top... I think he's 48 on my board, and this is pick 48. So look at that. But Malik Washington... He's my wide receiver 9. I think he's a really good player, and I think this is an amazing fit that would lead to very good production early on.
Okay, here at pick 50, taking Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson. Bit of a fall here. I know some people at the start of the year were like, he's going to be CB1. He's fallen, I think, to a late first, second round pick is what I've been seeing. But Nate Wiggins, he's really good in zone coverage. He has good press coverage. He has amazing recovery speed as he ran, 4.28, I think it was. He has ideal outside corner height. I think he's 6'2". But the big thing is his weight. you better be running 4.28 at 170.
Yeah, no, that's
pounds.
what I. Yeah.
He runs hip to hip well. He needs to get his head around. He's gotten head tapped multiple times, but if he just turned his fucking head around, he would have been fine. He would have been able to break it up, but he doesn't. Come on, think. He's competitive at the catch point. It just so happens that probably because of his weight, every catch he allows is close. He did get burnt by Tez Walker, of all people, so maybe that was telling of what was more to come. He gets his hand on the ball. He has good ball skills, physical hands. Sometimes he gets flagged for it. He's good in man coverage. He reads the QB's eyes. Overall, I like Nate Wiggins. I just like guys more, almost. He's a good player. His potential is really, really high. But he's not Emmanuel Forbes. At that weight, I think he covers much better than Forbes did. Because I'm not going to lie, Forbes' game is based off luck, interceptions.
Yeah.
Thanks, Washington, for Christian, by the way.
It. But at 173, he's a shitty tackler.
Yeah, he's a shitty tackler.
As imagined.
But overall, I don't care that I took Kyrie Jackson earlier, considering you guys still need help. So, Kyrie and Nate, they're going to be your future CB duo.
51, we got the Steelers on the clock. And I'm going to build just like we're going to beat the absolute fuck out of you at the line of scrimmage at corner.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to take Renardo Green to pair with Joey Porter Jr. And they're not going to be able to get off the line. It's going to take like 2.5 seconds for them to get off the line. They might cook them after that. Who knows? But Joey Porter had a really good year. Renardo Green, very good player as well. I think he's 43 on my board. I think I do like him a good amount as a corner. 6 foot 186, like I said, big physical press guy. That's his game. Really doesn't play off very much just because he's always in press. But he's got great hands. He has a really good punch to disrupt their release. Only a fine athlete is kind of the critique on him. He's not bad. He's not good. Just kind of in that middle tier. Couple of holds on him, which you do expect from him just being the press guy that he is. You love his physicality. He's a good tackler. He's very aggressive coming downhill. He had a pick where he literally shoved the receiver to the ground and then just ended up with the ball like at his stomach and just caught it and ran like 15 yards after that. To me, he just screams like a very good press CB2. I think he could be a CB1, but that's exactly what he is in this scenario. Is just a big physical press number 2, and it's exactly the style of football that the Steelers want to play. And I really like the idea of this duo, and I hope that if I'm a Steelers fan, I would really hope that they end up with this in the real draft, because I think it's an awesome way to pair them.
Okay, here at 52, the Rams could go. I don't even know what their free agency was. They kept
Dotson.
Okay, yeah.
They got Jonah Jackson. And then lost Aaron Donald to retirement.
And that's who I'm replacing right now. I'm taking Mo Camara from Colorado State, 6'1", 250.
You're going to replace the D-tackle with an edge rusher?
Hey, listen, he's a pass rusher. You know what I was going for. I'm replacing his pass rusher.
Let's play Mo Camara at 3-tech, 245. Yeah. Fuck it, get out there, son. That's what Will McDonald had to do. He can do it.
He has great speed, great burst, gets in the backfield, amazing hustle, really good tackler, good power, really good punch, gets a lot of pressure. He had a ton of sacks, which I'd love to see. Colorado State being a smaller school, he's not like small like Toledo or fucking Shepherd or whatever, but like
that's not even D1.
But he put up great production. I think he had 16 sacks this year. He was a really good run defender, and he drives the tackles back. He had a lot of power behind that 245. And he has a really good dip move. Overall, he's just a really freaky pass rusher here that I think should fill an edge role that Aaron Donald once had when he rushed off the edge. Of course, Martin's favorite non-Patriot player is gone now.
I was looking at the jersey earlier on the wall, and I was like, fuck.
Like Spider-Man?
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I really like Mo Camara and just trying to fill a pass rush role here. I just think he's a really, really good edge rusher, and he's probably the last edge rusher taken for both of us.
No, I'm not. I don't think I have
Yeah, he's
oh, in this second round?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant in the third. Yeah, because I have a few more watched. I don't. It's going to be very reluctant picks, though.
I have one guy that I think...
I have two, and I don't like either of them.
I will pick him in the third.
Yeah.
That's mine.
All right, pick 53. We got the Eagles on the clock again. I'm going to take Junior Colson, the linebacker from Michigan here. He's my LB2. They really don't have much at linebacker outside of Nicholas Moreau. 6'3", 247. He's the biggest linebacker in the class by far. He's the only one that I actually feel comfortable taking on a guard. Peyton Wilson can just run right around him, so it's fine. But that's a part of his game that nobody else really has, which is something that I really look for. He can still be a run and chase guy, sideline to sideline. He's got good play rec. He's pretty solid in coverage. He's an absolute thumper, like I said. That's really what his best role is. He's solid in coverage. He's a complete player. But what he does best is screaming downhill and hitting the hell out of the running back or the guard that's trying to block him. He can backdoor blocks too decently, but he's willing to just take him on, like I said. I really like Junior Colson. Like I said, LB2. I think he's just a very solid player. He kind of looks like Jawan Bentley to me. And Bentley from last year where he can actually cover now. I think he's just a good player, and I think you take Bentley in the second round. That's a very solid football player right there. And I think this is a good pick for Philly, especially where they don't have too many holes, and linebacker is one of them.
Okay, here, pick 54 for Cleveland. I'm taking Brendan Dorlus out of Oregon, 6'3", 290. He can play both interior D-line and outside edge. He's not a stand-up. He's 290, but he has really good power. He had 7 pass deflections on the year, which I think is nuts. Just getting the hands up.
Pretty good.
He bullies guards, just drives them back. Great bull rush, really good swim move. He has a really nice inside counter spin. He doesn't have horizontal speed. That's a negative for me. Great pass rusher, really good block shedding. He does struggle on double teams. He's almost he's disgustingly good if you leave him one-on-one, but he's kind of just neutralized if you leave him in a double team there. But he's good in run defense. Wouldn't say he's great or anything, but overall I just think he'll be on the field for 3 downs, might spend the first 2 at D-line and then go over to pass rush. But overall, when I watch Brendan Dorlus, I loved him. Still do love him. I think he's actually player 50 on my big board. So you're getting a top 50 player here for Cleveland.
All right, pick 55. We got the Miami Dolphins on the clock. And I'm going to go with Christian Mahogany here from BC. This is one of my guys for sure. 6'3", 322. Big boy. This is another guy. There's a lot of them, but he's got some dog to him. Absolute mauler in the run game. He could be a zone guy, but really awesome in a gap scheme. And he's going to have to be a zone guy here now that I think about it, because this is Miami. But I think he can do it. He's a very good run blocker. He absolutely murders guys when he's pulling, so you're going to want to put him on the move as much as possible. And this McDaniel scheme will do that. The only thing with him that I really have a problem with is I saw his hands kind of get forklifted up a couple times, so you really just want to work on the grip strength there. But he has it in the run game just a couple times. In pass protection, I kind of saw that get countered. But he has a very solid anchor. He's really consistent at just getting movement in the run game every single time. Some guys, some reps, they'll have a pancake, and then there's 3 more plays where nothing really happens. With him, it's a couple yards of displacement every single time. And I would like him to just work high hand, low hand a little bit more to avoid those hands getting forklifted. If you start one here, then you bring it up, just readjust. I think that can definitely help. And if me, dude on the internet's telling him to do that, I'm sure the Dolphins O-line coach can hopefully get that going. But Christian Mahogany is a very solid guard, and you just lost Robert Hunt, and you're probably losing Connor Williams as well. They need help on the interior, and Mahogany can help them with that.
Okay, here at pick 56, Dallas is getting another one of my guys. Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin, 6'4", 310. I'm pretty sure I just saw him at 290, 230, one of the two on the big board. But I fucking love this kid. He's my center too. I do have him over Zach Frazier, but on my big board, they're literally back to back. They're very close. But I love Tanner Bortolini. I watched him a lot when I was watching Braylon Allen, and I was like, who the fuck is this kid? I actually saw him at the Senior Bowl first, and I was like, who the fuck is this kid? And then I watched Braylon Allen, and like he stood out, and I was like, oh shit, he actually might be disgusting. He is. Picks up a stunt really well. You can tell he watches a ton of film. Great anchor, amazing hands. Had himself a hell of a combine, putting up with like Jason Kelce level numbers at the combine. So
I have not watched his film.
I'm not saying he's Jason Kelce, but he's really fucking good. Not saying he's Jason Kelce, but he's damn good.
Is it time for the bit to keep going of Jason Kelce with more blank?
Jason Kelce athletic.
But bigger.
He's amazing grip strength, nasty streak to him. He opens up tons of holes, combo blocks really well, amazing footwork, pancakes in the run game. So, more pancakes than most guys here on this list. Yeah, it's all you can eat. It's IHOP out here. It's Waffle House, honestly. Get behind him and enjoy the ride. Looking at his ass.
No, that's a crazy line. I could not laugh at that. Get behind him and enjoy the ride. What in the... We might have to leave that in.
I think that is staying in. And he gets to the second level really well. Overall, I love Tanner Bortolini. He's
second base or second level?
Second.
Okay.
Second level.
Alright, word.
I'm pretty sure he's top 40 on my big board. He's definitely top 50. He's definitely top 50 on my big board. So you getting Tanner Bortolini here from Wisconsin is a great pick for Dallas, and you're just gonna get a mauler in the run game.
All right, pick 57. You got the Bucks. I'm gonna take the mock draft database is 316th ranked player here, and we're going with Caden Wallace, the other Penn State tackle.
The better Penn State tackle.
Yeah, he's way better at football than Olu. But he's 6'5", 326, really good size profile. He's got 33 and 5/8 arms, so you're not worried about the length. Another just great run blocker. That's the best part of his game. Consistently generates movement, gets to the second level well, absolute mauler and finisher. Which we're saying that about all these guys, but the guy, that's the thing, is like, we're saying every time he's got some dog to him, watch out. But the guys that are going to go after do not. So that's why we say it. We do specify it. The thing that I love, if you guys know, is whenever I see Trap Tech, I get excited. And he pulled that off a couple times. He's got a really good violent punch. He's got great hands. The only thing with him is he plays high sometimes, and then he's susceptible to some inside counter moves because they'll just go outside. He kind of oversets, lunged a couple times, and then they spin inside, and then he has a couple reps where he looks stupid. But he's got great power. He's got a really solid anchor overall. He handles speed to the outside really well. His feet are good, and his punch is so good that he's good at like kind of freezing them in their outside rush, and then he uses his length to get out there, and then you're just done. And with this move, you can move Luke Hideki inside to guard, who has played solid football at tackle, but really just doesn't have the arm length for it. He's under 33, so I'd like to just kind of stick him at left guard if I can. But yeah, I'm a big Caden Wallace guy. He's 40 on my board. Him being here at 57 is a big fall. Just a lot of these teams really don't need tackles, so he ended up sliding, but it's a very good pick for Tampa Bay.
Okay, Green Bay's picking here at 58. Got your secondary kind of worked out with the last two picks, with that being, Tyke Smith?
And Cam
Hart. So I'm taking Braden Fisk here out of FSU. 6'5", around 300. I have him listed here as 297. Had himself a day at the Combine. Probably was one of the biggest winners at the Combine. Great jump. Really good run defender. Has a quick dip. He's super athletic. What do you run? 4.7? Yeah. At 300 pounds. He's a mover. So, yeah. He's really physical. He'll maul you. Gets his hand up. Bat down balls. Listen, I know. this is going to sound really stereotypical because he's white, but he has a ton of grit, and he has a high motor.
Yeah, he does have a very high motor.
He doesn't stop, keeps his feet moving, and he has really good block shedding. He's just a really good, he could play, not outside, but he could play not just head-up defensive line. But Braden Fisk, just a really good player. Love his pass rush capability mixed in with his run defense. So, yeah, Green Bay's getting a good one.
Pick 59. Give me the kid from Everett. Give me Mikey Sabersill for 5'10", 182, slot monster to play here in Houston. Desmond King is kind of washed.
He's
old. I mean, he's still, and they signed like Jeff Okuda and fucking Lonnie Johnson. That doesn't really. Those are depth guys. That's not stopping me from taking the kid from Everett. The first play of him that I actually watched, he tripped and got toasted for a touchdown. But he is a really good player. That was like the one low light. Very good blitzer, really good tackler. He's got good play rec. Mostly off man, as you would imagine, from the slot and zone. He's got good ball skills. He had a 2 interception and fumble recovery game against Maryland. That was a big-time performance that really showed off his ball skills. He's very quick in short areas, good tackler, closes on the ball well. As far as slot corners go, it's a conversation between him and Tyke Smith. I think as a pure, cover slot, Mikey's better, but I was also taking Tyke to play safety for the Packers. But I really like them both. They're my 1 and 2 slot, respectively. And I just think Mikey here is, you got Stingley. There's not really a real number 2. Desmond King is your slot, but I just don't think he's that good anymore, so I kind of just want to replace him here. Petrie does play some slot, but you can also have him just play way more safety, because he can totally do that. But yeah, I really like Mikey, and I think he's 47 on my board, and he's here, so it's good value. Obviously, we got to represent the local kid, too. Come on now. Good guy, local guy. And he's going
to Everett, but I'm not so sure about good guy. Okay, here at pick 60, you have the Buffalo Bills. Lost Gabe Davis, so I'm getting a replacement. I'm getting Xavier Worthy. 6'1", what is he, 172, I think is what he was listed as.
He was 165 at the combine.
So he's light. He's light. But he goes fast. He has 4.21 speed.
But he might be Tyquan Thornton.
Maybe. He's a really good route runner. He's super shifty. You fucking better be. He does make catches through contact. That's what I saw on film.
I disagree with that
you
completely.
Do?
I have never seen him make a contested catch.
I saw him make contested catches.
I don't know. I did not see that ever.
He makes people miss after the catch. He has great burst off the line. He has really, really great releases. Dog mentality. Game-breaking speed. So I didn't call 4.21 speed, but I said he had game-breaking speed. Great hands, soft hands, deep threat. I want to see him used more over the middle, but that's not really his game. Now,
he would
obviously,
die.
No, obviously the main concerns with him is going to be him just getting bitched by a 210-pound DB that has 50 pounds on him. But if he's able to get by him, see ya, goodbye. Just put him on fade streaks, posts, outs, screens. Just use him that way.
This sounds like Tyquan Thornton.
No, it isn't.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's not Tyquan. Tracks the ball really well.
Well, you just said all the routes that don't require route running ability, so...
But he has a good release.
Okay.
He tracks the ball really well. He has a okay route tree, like I said. You're not seeing over the middle routes, but he uses all of the deep routes and short routes that you need. So, just...
You see how it went to great route runner at the start to okay?
Yeah.
Tyquan.
He's not Tyquan. One of the who's Tyquan, Troy Franklin, and that's why he's not going here.
All right.
He's great in space, obviously, super shifty. Overall, I like Xavier Worthy. Not in love with him, but I would definitely just say, hey, Josh Allen, go fucking throw the ball up and go make a catch. And I think that works better when you have 4.21 speed, because I don't even know what Troy Franklin ran, but they're very...
It's 4.47.
I would much rather Xavier Worthy, because I know he's 165 pounds, But Troy Franklin...
He's like 180.
Troy Franklin is 180, and he's 6'3".
Yeah.
So they're very comparable size-wise, and I think Xavier Worthy is just... He has way more potential.
61, we got the Lions on the clock. I'm going to take Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. I am a fan of his. He's just screams solid CB2. 6 foot, 180, mostly an outside corner. I think he could play in the slot too, but actually he might start in the slot because they still do have Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, those guys. So he actually probably is your slot, just day one. But then again, Brian Branch is also going to play there. So, but they can all figure it out. You want to have depth at corner, and the Lions have a really good roster, so it's hard to find a need. Very quick in short areas. The long speed is kind of where you get worried about him, just because I think it's okay. Gave up separation on fades a few times just as it got further down the field. I think he breaks on the ball well. I think he does, for the most part, play hip to hip. I think he is a solid tackler. And I think just plays zone pretty solidly. Not as good in man, but I think he is solid enough. Didn't press too much. He's an off-cover guy. But I think he would work well in the Lions scheme. I think he does kind of feel like a Dan Campbell guy, being a solid tackler. They need corner depth. He can provide that, whether he's your 2 or even your 4 immediately. But that secondary got torn to pieces last year, so I think you probably should start him as your outside 2. But yeah, I think Lassiter's just screams solid corner 2 in the NFL, and that's kind of what the Lions need.
Okay, here at 62, I'm taking Javon Baker, UCF wide receiver. Listen, he could have gone a lot earlier because I think he's just almost Keon Coleman, but he gets separation.
That's just Calvin Johnson, so he must be good.
He's damn good. He's really good. I was considering taking him for the Patriots at 34, but he's fallen all this way just because of scheme, honestly. And then I don't even think he got invited to the Combine. If he did, he didn't stand out or anything, and I'm going to take that Keon Coleman can almost run 20 miles an hour, and I'm going to take it and put it into account. So Javon Baker ends up falling here, but he has elite ball tracking, nuts contested catches. He's a great route runner. Really, really good catch radius, amazing hands, amazing deep threat, good, not great speed. Again, amazing jump ball receiver, gets separation, he makes acrobatic catches, he makes nuts catches but gets separation, but he doesn't have a great route tree. I kind of see him only run like 4 routes, but, he's damn good at those 4 routes. It's fade, post, drag, and honestly screen, but, he can fit a couple more.
I don't think that's a route, Joe.
But he can fit a couple more in. But I really like Javon Baker. He's another one of my guys. He's listed at like 114, I think, but I think
114. Oh, I thought you meant weight.
No.
I knew you misspoke.
On the
but
mock,
I was just gonna. Oh, okay.
On
the
mock draft database, big board. No, he's 208. He's a big boy.
No, I figured you just misspoke. I was like,
So Javon Baker, great pick.
Pick 63. We got the Niners on the clock. Anybody who thought I should have taken a tackle at 31, you're not wrong, but guess what? There are no edges here, and there are tackles, so I'm right, you're wrong, buddy.
Fuck you, Baltimore.
But I am going to go with Garrett Greenfield here from South Dakota State. He is 49 on my board, and he is here at 63, so pretty good value. 6'7", 320. Legit, elite athlete. Set the record with the vert with 38 inches at 320 pounds, which is pretty damn impressive. Good gap scheme blocker. Can do zone as well. That vert shows you that he's explosive and can move, so he can totally do the Shanahan blocking scheme. Another guy that has a mean streak to him. First FCS guy taken in this draft, but really good player. Pulled off a couple great trap techs as well. He's advanced technically. Really good hand usage in pass pro. In general, he's just an absolute rock in pass pro. Really, most reps look the same. It's kind of like J.C. Latham, kick slide, grab, use the grip strength, keep the hands inside, just watch the dude. But just a very solid player. Readjusts his hands well. He's got a good anchor. He's got a violent punch. He's the athlete, and he's really technically sound. played in a smaller scale, but absolutely dominated at South Dakota State. They won the FCS Natty. He's played in some big-time games. Really good player. And I think either him or Mason McCormick is going to be the first FCS guy off the board. And I think he should go even earlier than this, but he's just here. And it's a very good pick for San Fran.
Okay, Kansas City Chiefs here at 64. You got Ladd before. You signed Hollywood Brown. You have Rashee Rice. So I think that receiving core is set as of right now. But next up on your needs, I think, is interior defensive line. And I'm going to take Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa. He's 6'4", 317 pounds. Really good power. Has a strong rip. I will say he is raw, which is why I like this pick for the Chiefs, because he doesn't have to be good right away for you. You can develop him, and he's going to be an absolute just shit wrecker. Really good pass rusher. He has a really strong grip, quick first step, has a swim move, really good athlete for his size, good block shedding. He did get turned around a lot against Iowa State, so you might have some concerns, but he dominated all the other smaller schools. It was just when he kind of played up, he did struggle a little bit. Raw run defense, which basically means like he has the tools, you see it there, and he sometimes makes a couple of plays where you're like, holy shit. And then you kind of make a couple plays, and he does a couple plays where you're like, holy shit, that's ass.
It's a different holy shit.
Yeah, it's a different holy shit. He does make guys bounce to the outside, so even though he doesn't get credited for the tackle, he is involved on that play. But he gets a good amount of pressure, keeps his feet moving. He's a raw prospect all around, but he has the tools, which is why I really like him here to Kansas City. He doesn't need to be good right away, but he will be good once he puts all the pieces together. And that is the second round.